person who had died. Now, as promised, let's return to our main story here tonight. The Prime Minister, of course, has been outlining the UK's position on Brexit in a speech in Florence. In a moment, I'll be talking to two business leaders to find out what they made of the speech. First, let's just hear a little from the Prime Minister explaining her plans for a transitional period.
Clearly, people, businesses and public services should only have to plan for one set of changes in the relationship between the UK and the EU. So during the implementation period, access to one another's markets should continue on current terms, and Britain should also continue to take part in existing security measures. And I know businesses in particular would welcome the certainty this would provide. It will take time to put in place the new immigration system required to retake control of the UK's borders. So during the implementation period, people will continue to be able to come and live and work in the UK, but there will be a registration system, an essential preparation for the new regime. As of today, these considerations point to an implementation period of around 2 years.
So let's discuss what was said in Florence with Lord Villamoria, who is with me, the founder and chairman of Cobra Beer, and a crossbench peer who supported the Remain campaign. And joining us from Nottingham is Christopher Nieper, managing director of David Nieper, a women's fashion manufacturer based in Derbyshire, who backed the Leave campaign. A warm welcome to both of you, gentlemen. Thanks for being with us. I'm going to go to our guest in Nottingham first of all. I mean, what did you make of it? Is this what you voted for?
Oh, yes. Good afternoon. To be honest, I felt this afternoon's speech was very full on compliments for the EU and very good at reassuring our intention to have a deep and special partnership, but very thin on detail. And what we were all waiting for is her vision for a trade deal. And we didn't see anything from that. So I'm afraid I was a little bit disappointed this afternoon.
Well, I mean, she was quite clear, I think, on what we're not having in terms of the Canadian model won't work so well for us, those sort of illustrations. What, as someone who runs a big business, and I know you've got factories in many European countries, what sort of detail are you needing to ensure that your business continues to be successful?
Yes, the fact that it's been delayed is really a stalling for another 2 years. That doesn't help us. It's become more uncertain now rather than more certain. I think business is very, very quick to adapt. In business, we work to a delivery date. If we need to have something ready by a certain date, we can be ready. If that date is the end of March 2019, we can be ready. We can easily be ready for then. Why can't the government work for a delivery date in the same way?
Lord Villamoria, your thoughts?
I can't believe, after the way this speech has been built up like no other speech I can remember, and you get a completely disappointing speech full of platitudes. She has said nothing of substance in this speech at all. People were expecting specifics, and they're not there. And there are a couple of indications that we're not going for Canada or we're not going for the European Economic Area.
Yes.
But the reality is, as a business, as a manufacturer here with my joint venture partners Molson Coors in the UK, manufacturer in Belgium where we manufacture, we sell into almost every European Union country. To us as a business, we want access to the best talent that comes from the EU. So the free movement of people really benefits us. We want access to the single market. It is 50% of our trade as a country at our doorstep. There's no point comparing with Canada. From Canada's point of view, the EU is 10% of their trade. From Britain's point of view, it's 50% of our trade. So from our point of view, we want things to actually carry on as they are within the European Union. And the government is trying to give the impression that they're going to get there somehow in this creative manner which the Prime Minister talks about. Well, there's 1 year left. Michel Barnier said you've got 1 year. And we've made no progress whatsoever. Rushed in, put in Article 50, and now here we are, still with the uncertainty, negotiating against 27 countries, all of whom are saying, don't do it. And by the way, I was hosting a delegation of senior Indian civil servants in Parliament today. I asked them, from India's point of view, do you think Britain should be remaining in the European Union? 100% of the hands went up. And do you know what one of them said? we feel sorry for you as a country with what you're going through. That is
Okay.
what the world thinks of us. And we as businesses are suffering thanks to this wretched referendum.
Right, but we are where we are. The nation voted the way it voted, and as you run a large business, as you have outlined, what did you need to hear today? Because the issue of free movement, I mean, we know what the nation voted for, so you have to make your business work, don't you, to the best of your ability in the circumstances?
So from our point of view, there is still the uncertainty. There is still every chance. The nation voted to leave, but not to leave on what basis. There is every chance we might end up remaining in the European Union, but we don't know. For example, the exit fee. The European Commission said very clearly there are three things you need to sort out. Northern Ireland, the movement of the existing European Union citizens here and our citizens in the EU, and the exit fee. The Prime Minister has not touched on the exit fee other than saying if there's a transition period for 2 years, which we'd like, we will carry on paying you for those 2 years. Of course we have to carry on paying for those 2 years because we will in effect have access to the single market, customs union, and be part of the European Union. We pay £8 billion net a year anyway to be in the European Union. We'd have to continue paying that for 2 years. The European Union is saying on top of that, we want an exit fee of up to 100 billion euros. What are you going to offer us? There was nothing in the speech to say, we're going to offer you this on top of what we're going to pay for a transition period.
Okay.
There's nothing here saying the Northern Ireland border, which we secured after so much strife and angst and to get that wonderful situation in Ireland that exists. Nothing in there specifically, nor about the citizens.
I hear you, and the viewers will hear you, but I don't want to rerun all the arguments from the referendum either, because we are where we are. Christopher Nieper, you've made the point that you wanted more detail. I mean, actually, again, as someone who runs his own business, what do you do now in terms of planning for the future?
I think what we have to do now is plan on a no-deal situation and plan on World Trade Organization rules. And by the way, that's not really a problem. The tariff which we might face under WTO rules is dwarfed by the currency advantage which we've just been given. Since the referendum last year, the currency has moved enormously in our favour as an exporting nation. And I think we should take that opportunity. It depends really how you view this situation. You can either be pessimistic or you can be optimistic. You can either have your glass half empty or half full. I don't see this as a cliff edge. I see this as a springboard. And I think what Theresa May could have done today is to say, on the 31st of March next year, we will be signing free trade deals with many other countries around the world. We will be out of the customs union. We will take the opportunity. And the money we will save, we will invest in British jobs and British skills and British schools. And all of those are very important to us as an employer here in the Midlands.
OK, gentlemen, I regret to say, I'm so sorry, we do have to leave it there. Christopher Nieper, Lord Villamoria was shaking his head for a lot of that.
Importers, we have not benefited from the currency reduction at all, and this is completely misleading.
Christopher Nieper and Lord Villamoria, thank you so much for being with us, and there will be more opportunities to debate this, I am quite sure. Thank you very much.